Hello from Los Angeles. Yes, I'm not in Portland this week. I'm here in LA for the LA Auto Show. Sadly, I'm only going to be here for 2 days. I arrived very late yesterday evening, which is why you all had a video on photovoltaic solar panels for electric cars, which you all seem to enjoy. And some of the other videos this week are pre-recorded videos that were produced in the studio last week. So if there are breaking news stories that aren't directly tied to the LA Auto Show, we will try and cover them next week when I'm back in the office. But today I felt it was very important to give you a bit of an update on what's going on. This is completely unscripted, so there might be some more ers and pauses than normal because I'm not reading off a teleprompter. But here's what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of days. I am here as a guest of Nissan. Nissan has invited me and many other journalists to take part in their Nissan Futures event, which is an event that Nissan is going to be using to showcase some of its future car technology. There is discussion of electric and electrified vehicles, as well as autonomous vehicles. I'm going to find out more about that later on today. The actual event itself starts at about 11. And at that point, I'm going to be pretty hammered throughout the rest of the day. I mean, I don't mean hammered drunk. I mean hammered as in I'm going to be working. I've got a full schedule all the way out until like 8 p.m. tonight. I'll make a video on that as and when I can to discuss some of the things that Nissan has unveiled. Obviously, there may be some embargoes until tomorrow, so you might not get that today. Tomorrow, I'll be at the LA Auto Show. I'm going to be at the LA Auto Show as a guest of Nissan, so I will go to their press conference, which will probably reiterate some of the stuff that will be told tonight. But I also hope to get to see some of the other press events that will be happening tomorrow. I know that BMW is unveiling a new electric concept car. I know that Kia is going to be unveiling its new Soul electric as well as its regular Soul. I know that there are some other electric cars and plug-in hybrids coming that are going to be unveiled. The thing we won't see is the next generation, or rather the long-range next generation Nissan LEAF. So that will be the long-range 60 kilowatt-hour variant of the 2019 Nissan LEAF. We've been told that's not going to happen because of the arrest of Nissan CEO Carlos Ghosn. Nissan, back in Japan, has decided that it's going to postpone that launch until whatever it is that's going on with Carlos Ghosn is resolved. Now, quick recap for those who don't remember. Last week, Ghosn was arrested, last Monday, in fact, in Japan for misstating what his salary was and what his remuneration and what his other perks were in tax forms for the company. There was another executive arrested as well who is accused essentially of conspiring with Ghosn, and that is ongoing. I don't expect Nissan is going to answer any questions on that. Of course, I will try, but we'll see what happens with that. We will see the Rivian R1T truck, which I am super excited about. I mean, some of the specs, let me just pull these specs up. It's an electric pickup truck. They're also going to be unveiling an electric SUV, 5 passengers, quad motor, all electric, all-wheel drive electric truck, 150 kilowatts or 147 kilowatts per wheel of power. The total torque is 1,400 Newton meters for the larger packed variants and 7,000 Newton meters for the smaller packed variant vehicle. The smallest capacity pickup truck variant for the R1T is going to be 300 kilowatts of power. It's going to be 105 kilowatt hours of battery pack. The largest variant is 180 kilowatt hours of battery pack and 522 kilowatts of power. That will get you 400 plus miles, says Rivian, with a top speed of 125 miles per hour, a 0 to 60 time of 3.2 seconds. I mean, even the entry level version is going to be sub 5 seconds. So we're talking 4.9 second 0 to 60 and 230 miles of range estimated. There's loads of new interesting features on this truck. There's like power takeoff in the rear bed. There's a front trunk. So we've got that front thing so you can put your luggage up front. There's also this neat little space behind the cab where you can put luggage. It's a lockable trunk, but it goes all the way through the vehicle. That's going to be really useful. There's also a spare wheel hidden under the pickup bed, which again is very cool. It does hint that this vehicle might be used less as a commercial vehicle and more as a fun plaything for those who, outdoory types who maybe don't feel a Model X suits their lifestyle, but it's still a great looking vehicle. The downside is the price. We're looking at about $70,000 starting price. It's not going to be cheap. Production in 2020 onwards. Now, I'm hoping tomorrow that I will get some time with the Rivian R1T. I have reached out to their press team because I'm leaving tomorrow night to fly back to Portland to then fly to Chicago to an event that I had planned to attend before I knew I was coming to this. So I don't have a huge amount of time, but I will do my best. So I'll get some photos and videos of that tomorrow if I can. The other thing that we need to talk about that's happened this week is the news that General Motors is going to be closing some of its factories in Canada and the US, where it makes some of its sedans and hatchbacks. And that is because GM has announced that it's going to be killing quite a large number of its vehicles. We are talking cars that have been a mainstay, at least I've considered them to be a mainstay of GM's passenger car segment. And GM is pushing towards SUVs, pickup trucks, and electric vehicles. So as of sort of middle of next year, or by the end of next year, in fact, the Buick LaCrosse, the Cadillac CT6, the Cadillac XTS, the Chevrolet Cruze, the Chevrolet Impala, if you can believe it, the Chevrolet Cruze and the Impala, very, very popular cars for rental fleets around the world, and the Chevrolet Volt. They're all going to be canned. So we're not going to see any more Chevrolet Volts. That has caused some people to reach out to me and go, GM's killing the electric car again. We were right. The truth behind it, I think, is slightly different. GM is killing the Volt because Volt sales have really fallen off a cliff ever since the Chevrolet Bolt came out. And the Bolt, while it is more expensive than the Volt, is a really nicely made, very affordable car for what it offers. Yes, it could be $10,000 cheaper, and I hope in the future Chevrolet does bring the price of that down as economies of scale grow. But when you compare what the Volt offers and what the Bolt offers, people are going for the Bolt because they can drive in all-electric mode all the time. It has rapid charging. And while the second generation Volt does have, a capability to do 50 miles of all-electric range, if you drive it sensibly, you then go back to your gasoline engine at the end of it. There is, of course, another reason here. The tax credits for electric cars made by GM will start to roll back next year because GM has reached its 200,000th electric car sold in North America under the federal tax credit rebate scheme. And so that means as of January next year, you won't be eligible for the full $7,500 federal tax credit. It will drop in half, and then it will drop to a quarter of the original value 6 months after that. And with that drop in federal tax credits, it makes sense for GM to focus on building an all-electric model rather than a plug-in hybrid. Across the US, across the world, plug-in hybrid sales are falling because people are choosing battery electric instead. And so it makes sense for GM to focus on the Bolt, focus all of its energy and time on electrifying its fleet moving forwards. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad move on GM's part, although I think GM really should have thought a little bit more carefully about when it was going to announce all those job cuts. It's less than a month before the holidays, and my heart goes out to absolutely everybody who is impacted by this. I hope that GM stands by you and makes sure that you can find a new job, that you have enough money to see you through, because there's no obligation on GM's part to do that, but I hope it does the right thing. And I'm going to be asking GM what it's planning if I can get hold of a GM representative in the next couple of days. So that's it from LA. We will be back in the studio very shortly. We will do our best to cover as much as we possibly can from LA this week or for the next 2 days. If there is something specific you want me to try and get to, do leave a comment below and I will do my absolute best. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to switch to New Zealand's only carboNZero certified renewable electricity company, and not just only certified, but 100% certified carboNZero. See you soon.